rang down the hall. In the bedroom, Justine smiled, not only because of how pleased Matt always was to see his brother. He was already opening the front door and shouting down the 4 flights of stairs to ask if Simon needed any help, but because of the way 13-month-old Abby began bouncing gleefully on the bed. It was debatable what Abby loved most in the world, visitors, since she was nothing if not Miss Sociable, or music. And it was music of just about any kind they were rapidly discovering, for they could play her virtually anything from Dire Straits to Billie Holiday to Blur, and she'd either dance in her awkward toddler way, or try to sing along, or simply sit with Matt and listen, appearing rapt. In spite of being almost 9 months pregnant, Justine managed to scoop up their adorable daughter, who instantly shrieked, "Dada!" and shot out her chubby arms. Matt was standing in the bedroom doorway, his deep-set, smoky grey eyes shining with love as he took Abby into one arm and put the other around Justine. He was a little over 6 feet tall, had a loose, rangy physique, and thick, dark hair that curled willfully around his high cheekbones and slender neck. Though he was undeniably good-looking, at least to her mind, it was his remarkable eyes, with their flecks of violet and lazy glimmer of intrigue, that had drawn her to him when they'd first met as students. There was also his smile, so captivatingly radiant it had actually made her blink. She loved everything about him, and knew what he loved about her: the silky honey tones of her hair, the riot of freckles that darkened her creamy skin, the throaty laugh that encouraged his jokes, the way she embraced his impulsiveness and often matched it with a spontaneity of her own. Almost since they'd become a couple, everyone had wanted to be around them. Their enthusiasm, recklessness, sheer joie de vivre was as infectious as their generosity. By the time they married, at the age of 22, it already felt as though they'd known each other all their lives. With his degrees in politics and Arabic, Matt's internship with the BBC News Channel had soon resulted in a permanent position, while Justine started her working life as a teaching assistant at a nearby primary school, mainly to fill time until their first child, conceived around the time of the wedding, came into the world. Her qualifications in drama and business studies would always come in handy further down the line. What mattered for now was giving their unexpected little treasure the very best start in life. Abby was certainly thriving in the love that surrounded her. However, her speedy growth, and a new baby on its way in a couple of weeks, meant there was simply no way this cramped attic flat at the top of a 4-story townhouse in South London was going to be able to contain them all. It didn't even have a lift, nor could it boast a second bedroom, nor enough space for anything more than was already crowding the open-plan kitchen-cum-sitting room.
"Where is everyone?"
Simon shouted, coming in through the front door. Laughing, Matt planted a kiss on Justine's forehead and carried Abby out to the sitting room where her Aunt Gina was starting to unload their 16-month-old son, Wesley, from the carrier on his daddy's back. With no preamble, Simon declared, "We've got just the place for you guys. Okay, I know you don't want to look right now, with the baby being so close, but it's not going to stay on the market for long." He shrugged the carrier off and smiled at Justine as she came into the room. "You know where I'm talking about. Have you got the details?" he asked Gina.
"Give me a chance,"
she replied, setting Wesley on his feet and watching him make his way straight to Abby's playhouse.
"It's in the envelope at the top of my bag."
To Justine, she said, "How are you? The baby's gonna pop out any minute by the look of you."
"Please,"
Justine implored, rubbing her massively swollen belly.
"And here's my little angel,"
Gina smiled, taking Abby from Matt.
None,
Abby murmured in response, and gave a whoop of delight as her aunt swung her up in the air.
"You're such a pretty girl,"
Gina said gently, smoothing her wispy blonde curls. Abby drew back to look at her, showed every one of her new white teeth in a beguiling grin, and promptly waved her fists in the air. "So where is this